Right folks, well here's one for all you United fans and football fans in general. Not many of you are going to see this because not many see these videos, it's a shame, but it's live. But there might be the odd Liverpool fan that'll see it, that'll probably want to comment because you'll have seen the thumbnail. I don't know what it is folks, but I've got this feeling that United are going to finish above Chelsea and probably also Liverpool this year. And I don't know how I can say that based on what I've seen last year. I really don't. For all it looks like we're hours away from our third and fourth signing, we're signing players that aren't necessarily world-class players or not thought of as world-class, often aren't getting in the teams that they pick for, so they're second choices, and some who probably aren't even the finished article just yet. But I've just got a feeling we're moving in the right direction, and I do think there's another signing or two to come, one in this transfer window, and I'm thinking, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think there's going to be one in January that's going to take us over the line and get us in front of those two teams. Let me tell you how I look at things thus far and what's happening in this transfer window in the last day or two in particular. Well, I was over the moon early in the transfer window that they finally let Iggy go. Iggy's now gone, he's elsewhere. I think somebody in Spain's looking at him. God help you, he'll do absolutely crap. He's gone, he's down the pan. Today it's been confirmed Wan-Bissaka has gone to West Ham. He said he's absolutely over the moon to be back in London and over the moon to have signed a contract with West Ham. I said to the TV screen as I heard that, Aaron, you're nowhere near as over the moon as I am. I'm over the moon with seeing the back of you. Honestly, I know many United fans like you. I know many fans in general like you. I'm watching on Sky Sports at lunchtime today and the panel are saying, oh, what a great signing for West Ham. You're limited. One-on-one you're okay, but take that out of the equation and for me you're just not good enough. Who on earth thought of paying £50 million for it is just crazy. Crazy. So the two that I wanted gone, Iggy, or Anthony Martial, as you'll know him, and Wan-Bissaka have both departed. I could go back even further and say, well, obviously old Greenwood's gone as well. I'm a bit gutted about that. Before you all shout at me, you've got to see me past videos before you judge me. I was like you, I judged him early on, I'm not so sure now. But he's gone, it was always going to happen that, so I've just got to forget that one completely. Even though I know anybody that we're signing to replace him isn't as good. Rasmus won't be as good as Greenwood. This young boy, this young Dutch player, I'm pretty sure won't be. But I'd love to be proved wrong. But signing wise, as I say, we've got this young fella, this is it Xerxes? I don't even know. I think it is from Bologna. Lots of promise there, lots of potential. But you've got to say he went to the Euros with the Dutch and got probably 20 minutes throughout about 6 matches. So they didn't fancy him quite enough. Seeing clips of him, he looks pretty good. He's working with Ruud now. He's only going to get better working with Ruud. So maybe there's a player there. Let's hope that there is. But for me, is he an out-and-out striker? Not sure. Rasmus, he probably could be an out-and-out striker, but he could probably be a bit of a Greenwood. I think you could play him through the middle and on the right wing, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I want him to do well. I think he could do well, but the court's out at the moment on him, in my opinion. But that said, he's only a young boy, and again, he's going to get better. I'm working with Ruud. He'll surely get better. But I look across the front line and I think Rashford as well. Last year, goal return crap. Year before, great. And I'm looking at one of those three, or a combination of 2 or 3 of them, to get us the goals this year. Yeah, we'll get bits from the wings, but only one wing, and that'll be the one that Garnacho's on. For all Anthony's promised loads this year, I just can't see him scoring many goals at all. Again, I'd love him to prove me wrong, but for me, it's a no-no. In fact, I think we'll get more with Diallo than we will with Anthony, and it's whether he's going to put Diallo in enough. My concern is he's going to try his best to shoehorn Rashford in, maybe to the expense of Diallo, because he might even put Rashford in his preferred left and move Garnacho to the right, which would be a shame for me, because I think Garnacho should have nailed that down now. I think he's the best winger we've got in our books. He's given us the best service last year, and I think he should always start in his favoured position. But that's just me. Before we look at who else we may bring in, let's talk about the ones we brought in, and then let's talk about who may go, who who I'd like to go, who I'm 50-50 about, and maybe who I expect to go. So we brought in the young boy from Bologna. Could be very good, but could be more one for the future than for now, and we need them for now. Then who else have we brought in? Lenny. Lenny, well, at 19, you'd say he's one for the future, but he looked imperious last year in France, and they're expecting massive, massive things from him everywhere across the continent. I think Liverpool were supposedly in after him, so were PSG, and so were Real Madrid, who were favourites for him. Yeah, he's had a dodgy injury very early on, which is a worry. Yeah, another United injury, that's the bigger worry. But many were in after him, and I just can't get it out of my head. What I read before the Euros from Ferdinand, when he says he's the best young centre-half he's seen in years and years and years. He should know. Let's hope he's right. Let's hope we get Lenny back pretty quickly, and let's hope he cements a place in the centre of defence there. So he looked very, very good for all he's got injured. Then we've got the two boys coming from Bayern today, who probably will be announced as signings late tonight or tomorrow. They'll want to be announced before, is it Thursday dinner time? That way they can play in the first game up on Friday evening. That's De Ligt. And the other boy, the fullback there. I don't know a lot about the fullback. I don't even know his name. I do know his name, I just can't remember it. And I've no scripts up. I've not wrote it up there. They say he's good in defence and good in attack. An all-round good player. And an upgrade on Wan-Bissaka. Well, for me, number one, that wouldn't be hard. But what I will say is, again, he wasn't getting in the Bayern team all last year. And again, they're happy to keep with other fullbacks and let him go. You've got to say it's a concern. The upside is that Ten Hag's worked with him before, but then again he'd worked with Anthony before, hadn't he? And then we go to De Ligt. Again, he's dividing opinion. I've seen Misha Richards, he's saying great player, he'll do well for United. Paul Scholes and Rio Ferdinand aren't so sure. And again, the argument they're putting out there is, well, he's not getting on for Bayern at the moment, so why would United want him? If he can't get on for his own team and if Bayern are happy to let him go, why would we want him? They say the centre of defence wasn't great for the Netherlands in the Euros, but De Ligt didn't even get picked. So why would United want him? At 19, he was said to be the best central defender in probably world football, the one with most potential. Went to Juve and gone. Bayern and gone. Did he go to Barca and gone? I think he did. I think he's been to 3 top teams, hasn't he? Left them all. So why would United want him? Well, I mean, one of the reasons they want him again is down to Eric. He's worked with him before, and that's when he looks at his best with Eric. So will he get it back from him? Yeah, maybe he will. He's younger than Lindelof and Maguire. He's quicker than them both. Probably more athletic than them both. Probably a better football brain than one of them. Not so sure about the other of them. He could be a perfect partner for old Lenny. Or your main man, the Argentinian. Martinez, he could be. Could be for either of them. Could Eric be thinking about the 3 central defenders that I've mooted before? You've got fullbacks now that like to run with the ball and attack. The new boy there that's just come from Bayern. You've got Dalot also on that side. You've got Shaw on the other side. Malacia, should he ever come back? I've heard rumours about Malacia. Have you heard them yourselves, folks? They're out there. Get your ear to the ground and have a listen. I've been hearing them for about 6 weeks now. Don't know if they're true or not, but it's very, very strange. The fact that we've not seen him at the club for about, is it about 18 months, 20 months now? Very, very strange. I've heard the rumours tell me that it's not football related, although they're trying to say he's injured. I don't know if there's any truth in that rumour. But we have players who seem more comfortable going forward and with the ball. So, you never know. 3 central defenders and wing backs might be worth looking at. But the idea is we've got 3, hopefully, good centre-backs there. Not hampered by age and not hampered by pace. Because in Martinez, De Ligt and Euro, they're all young, they've all got pace. You need one backup probably to stay in there to should get injured. So we need to keep one of probably Lindelof or Maguire. Then all of a sudden we look pretty good in central defence. Full-backs we look stronger, not so bad. Anana worries me with his antics, but not a bad goalkeeper. all of a sudden we're looking better from the back. Then we look at midfield. Well, before we look at midfield, who are we going to sign? Who are we going to sign and who do we want gone? Because from the looks of things, we've got to get rid of players, haven't we? They're saying we've no money left. I think we had to get rid of Wan-Bissaka to make the double deal happen. Maybe we need to get rid of somebody else to make the double deal happen, for all the medicals have been done. Who's gone and who's going to go? I did write them down. Iggy's gone, as we said. Wan-Bissaka's now gone. Sancho, the rumours are it could be going to PSG. The rumours are it could be a swap for Ugarte. Maybe a swap with 10 million passing hands. I'd go for that every day of every week. Sancho gone for me. Yeah, I'd sanction that. Eriksen gone. Like him. I like him a lot, but his legs have gone. Yeah, I'd sanction that. More wages off the books. Not going to get 3 or 4 million, but it's 3 or 4 million. Casemiro, he was rumoured to be the big departure in the close season, but it's not happened. Everybody can see he's slow now. He always was slow, but his legs have really gone. Had a poor season last season. It's Saudi or nothing, I think, for Casemiro. But what's he got left on the contract? 3 years on a big wage. He's not going to want to go, is he? He's going to go out kicking and screaming. He might do a bit of the old Wan-Bissaka's. Well, I'll go, but I want a payoff. They don't want to be giving payoffs, do they, at United? Really? It's bad business. But then again, if you get enough money for him, is it the way to go? It possibly is. Do I want him gone? Based on last year, yes. Based on the previous year, no. Would I like to see him anchoring the midfield with Mainu? Yes and no. I think I'd like him in there as cover on the bench. But then again, you put him on the bench, he's less game time. He's slow to start with. Does he need more matches and more minutes? I think he does. But ultimately, I'm not so sure he's the person that should be anchoring the midfield with Mainu. His lack of pace means Mainu has got to be by side all the time, and it's stopping what Mainu wants to do. You want Mainu holding there as well, but you want him getting forward. He can't do that so much when he's worried about Casemiro. So Casemiro gone for me, gun to me head. Yes, I'd probably like it. Can I see it happening? No, I can't. Not in this transfer window. No, I can't. But I'd settle for it. McTominay. Well, I'm 50-50 on him. I'd have said before the last 3 months of the season just gone, yeah, let him go. Now I'd rather him not. I don't think he's a starter for United. He's a bench player, but he's an effective bench player. His goal return was good last year for us and for Scotland. He hit a bit of a seam of form. They put a bit of trust in him and he got a lot of column inches in the press, and I think he thrived for it. I'd probably like him to stay, but they need some money in to get that central midfielder in. And to me, he looks like the best option. He really does, unless we can get rid of Sancho. So McTominay, I'm 50-50. Anthony, I'd have him gone tomorrow. He's promised in the press we're going to see a different Anthony this year. He's going to do better. He's going to score more goals and more assists. Well, the more goals bit, well, he may do because he never got virtually any. But the problem is we all still know what you're going to do, Anthony. If you're just going to keep trying to curl that ball in that top far off corner, what will it be? Left hand corner as you look. We all know you're going to do it. Us watching at home, us watching at the ground. Our players, their defenders, their goalkeeper, we all know. So it does make it harder. As for more goal assists, well, you've got to start putting your head up and looking for someone to cross to and crossing early. This running down the wing with your head down and trying to beat a man 3 times and then fall over, that doesn't cut it. We haven't got an out-and-out centre forward. We've not got a brilliant finisher, so they need help. And the help they're going to need is some quick early ball, and on lots of occasions. They get quick early ball lots and lots of times. Law of averages says they're going to put 1 or 2 away. We've not got the players that might only get 2 chances a game and you've got to rely on them getting 1. We've not got that kind of forward in at the moment. We've not got a Van Nistelrooy. We have, but he's not on the field, unfortunately. He can't put his boots back on. They need help from out wide. They need your help, Anthony. Can you give it? You say you will. I'm not so sure. If we could get rid, would I take the money? Without a doubt I would. But I'd love him to prove me wrong. Rashford, do I want him gone? Well, it's a bit like Casemiro. On last season, yes. On the previous season, no. And he's a Manchester boy through and through and come through the academy. So you don't want him gone, really. But a year ago, we'd have got 80 to 100 million for him. I think we'll still get 50 or 60 now. We could do a lot with that 50 or 60 million. But do I want him gone? If he comes back to anything like form, no. But I'd like him not to sulk. I'd like him to become a team player. I'd like him to work harder, run harder and close down more. And I'd like him to play wherever Eric picks him. I know he wants left wing, I know he wants that. But if Eric wants him through the middle or right wing, he's just got to try as best he can and not sulk. And he's got to put a shift in. And if he does, he's well worth keeping. But the Rashford of last year, it is a worry. Lindelof and Maguire. Well, the thing is, as I say, we've got Euro, Martinez and De Ligt now. We probably only need one more. It's always good to have 4. You play with 2, you've got 2 for injury. Which one would I keep? Well, I'd probably keep out the both of them, to be honest with you. And I like Lindelof a lot as a guy more than anything else, but I'd keep Maguire, although you get more money for Maguire. Yes, he's a lot slower, but in a better defence and a more defensive defence and defenders with brains, because for my money, Wan-Bissaka didn't have a brain, didn't have a positional brain and whatever else. 1v1 great, but often out of position. With better fullbacks, I think you can compensate for Maguire's lack of pace. Better fullbacks and a better overall defence. So I'll probably keep Maguire, but then again we get more money for Maguire. I think Lindelof's probably gone. I think one of them has to. You've always got Johnny Evans as number 5, but I'm hoping we virtually never see Johnny Evans on the park this year. Or maybe for the last 10 minutes when we're 2-0 up somewhere or 1-0 up and we've got to protect a lead, we bring him on as a 3rd or even a 4th centre-back. Then I'm fine to have him. League Cups or whatever they call it now, I'm fine him playing in there. Early stages of Europa Leagues, when you're playing the Duffer teams, I'm happy with him there. But in big matches, good matches against good teams, I don't want to see Johnny Evans starting or even coming on, really. So Maguire I'd probably keep, let Lindelof go. And then you've got the makings of a good team and makings of a good back 4 there. And you know what I'm on to, folks, is who we're going to get next. Well, we want this Ugarte, as I say, don't we? But I think we're only going to get him if maybe they do a swap for Sancho, or maybe if McTominay goes. But I'm thinking, let's say we get a second-rate Ugarte or someone that's not brilliant. Or let's say we get nobody at all and we're only left with Casemiro. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Get Euro back as soon as you can and play him with De Ligt. And I think Martinez will do a great shift there alongside Mainu. I think Martinez will do an absolutely great shift. Yeah, he's not got the height, but you'd rather have less height in centre midfield than centre defence anyway. And he makes up for it with his football brain anyway, doesn't he? Lack of height. But he can control the ball, he can pass the ball, he can get the ball forward, he's happy to move the ball forward, he's got a great football brain, he can tackle, he's one-on-one, he's great. His command of the space around him is great. I think he could be a Makelele or Kante. I really think he could be. I'm happy with him central defence, but if everybody's fit, and if we don't play 3 centre-backs, if we don't get a top central midfielder in there to anchor that midfield, well, for me, I think he's a shoo-in. I do, honestly. Playing him next to Mainu and then behind him De Ligt and Euro, I think we sorted. I think we sorted. Now, what I think is I don't think we're going to get a centre-forward in this window. I really don't. I think the cupboard is bare, and I'm hoping the next transfer window, because of the time, things might have changed profit or loss-wise, or maybe the next transfer window we get rid of somebody else. I can see us then raiding another team for a finisher. He's probably not going to be a world beater because the world beaters will all be tied up by then, but we might get somebody who is a proper number 9 and is pretty proficient at putting the ball in the back of the net. That's what I think. And based on all of that, and depending on how we go, and depending on injuries, then that's the big thing. If we can shy away from the injuries this year, but we've already got them in pre-season, which is a worry. If we can shy away from injuries, I've just got this funny feeling. I'm pretty sure we can better Chelsea anyway, but I think we can better Liverpool. Because for me, we've got the man at the back in goal, hopefully not doing too many stupid things. We've got the new boy from Bayern or Dalot on one side, and hopefully we get Shaw back on the other. We've got any two of Euro, De Ligt and Martinez in the middle. We've got Kobe in front of them, and maybe Ugarte or maybe a Martinez or some of that ilk next to him. And then you've got an embarrassment to riches. You've got Bruno who can play in front of them. You've got Diallo on one wing and Garnacho on the other. You've got anyone from Rashford, Xerxes and Rasmus through the middle. You've got Anthony as backup. If Sancho doesn't go, you've got him as backup. All of a sudden, it's looking like a proper squad. It really is. And I look over at Liverpool and people will say, you must be mad to think you're going to better Liverpool. Well, they're still struggling themselves with that out-and-out striker. Nunes looked it and looks it, but for all he's had a good tournament South America there, he misses a lot more than he scores. A hell of a lot more. And then you go centre of defence and you've got to say, your man isn't the player he was. You know, he didn't have a great Euros. He didn't have a great year for Liverpool last year. He's been commanding since he left Southampton. He's been absolutely brilliant, but his last year and a half since his poor injury, he's not been the same player. I don't care what you say. And I think if he doesn't have a great season, Liverpool probably don't have a great season. New manager, change and all of that. I don't know, I've just got this funny feeling. I think the first 4 or 5 matches will dictate a lot. We're capable of losing to anybody. We're capable of throwing in some bad performances. But if United can hit the ground running and get some points on the board early on, I've just got a funny feeling we could have a decent year. I really have. But I don't know where I'm getting that from. Because based on last year, we've got absolutely no chance. But I look at who we've got rid of, who we brought in and who we may bring in. And I think, you know, if we're just a few more quid, if we could get this boy in from PSG to play with Manu, and if we could have got someone like an Ivan Toney up front, who they now say might go for as little as 50-55 mil, although he looks Arsenal bound. And I don't think he's a world beater, but he can get you 20-25 goals a season. And I'm thinking, you have him, and then throw Rasmus and Xerxes in the mix and people of that ilk, and all of a sudden, you've got plenty of threat, and you've got a good bench, a really good bench. I just feel we could have a good year, and people are going to laugh at me at the end of the season when Liverpool are probably 12 or 14 points in front of us, but sat here now at this moment in time, and I don't know what's made me think it. I've started about 24 hours ago. I've just got this feeling we're going to better both Chelsea and Liverpool. And Spurs. And Villa. I think Villa are going to have a good year this year again. And Villa. So I've got us down for third, I think. I've got us down for third. I think they asked on TalkSport yesterday to Simon and Graham, who'll finish highest, Newcastle or Manchester of the two Uniteds, and they both went for Newcastle. I think it's United, the red half, I do honestly. Yeah, so I think we're going to better Newcastle, possibly batter Chelsea, and could also better Liverpool. Let's hope. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, how wrong am I? Or have any of you United fans out there had that feeling that this just could be a year we turn a corner? No, not top spot. I'm not that stupid. No top spot. But could we surprise a few folk this year? I've just got a funny feeling we could, although I must admit I would have felt better if we had a centre forward there. I'd have felt a whole lot better if Greenwood hadn't have gone. If we'd have brought Greenwood back in and got him 100% right, I think 3 months in playing through the middle, I think it'd have been fantastic for us. Or on the wing, because he wouldn't have had to play in front of Wan-Bissaka anymore. He'd been playing in front of a proper fullback who could aid and help his attacking. He'd have been brilliant in front of a proper fullback. He really would. But it was never going to work that. We knew he was never going to come back. Anyway, your thoughts down below. Am I stupid? Maybe I am, but I always give me thoughts, stupid or not. And there are my thoughts at this stage.